The Augmented Triad is written AUG with a +5 or just a plus sign. The Augmented Triad is a symmetrical chord, meaning that if you stack the notes on top of each other within the same octave, the distance and pitch from one note to the next is the same. For example, a B-flat augmented triad includes a B-flat, a D, and an F-sharp. If you plot those notes out on one string, you'll find that every single one of these notes is 4 frets away from its neighbor. If we add another B-flat an octave higher than our first B-flat, that note is 4 frets away from this F-sharp, and the sequence starts all over again. The symmetry of an augmented chord makes it flexible. Depending on the key and the surrounding chords, this B-flat augmented can function as a B-flat augmented, a D augmented, or an F-sharp augmented. You could also call that F-sharp a G-flat augmented because F-sharp and G-flat are enharmonically equivalent. Now, if we shift each note 1 fret higher, our lowest note is a B, and this chord can function as one of 3 chords, a B, E-flat, or G augmented. And if we shift these notes another fret higher, this chord can function as C, E, or A-flat augmented. Shift another fret higher, we get D-flat, F, or A augmented. And finally, if we shift another fret higher, we end up on a D. But remember that this D is part of the B-flat augmented series. It's the same notes. This is a movable augmented shape you can play if you play the lowest note on the 6th string. And if the lowest note is on the 5th string, if the lowest note is on the 4th string, and if the lowest note is on the 3rd string. So let's say we're starting our lowest note on the 5th string. If you consider this note on the 5th string to be your root note, you could call it a C augmented. If you move it 4 frets higher, it contains the same notes, they're just in a different order. So you could still think of this as a C augmented, same if you move it another 4 frets higher. And remember, this is really 3 chords in one. In any of these positions, you could call this a C, E, or a G-sharp augmented, which you could also call an A-flat augmented. Remember, G-sharp and A-flat are enharmonically equivalent. Now, if you move the shape up a fret, it could serve as a D-flat, F, or A augmented, and every 4 frets you get those same 3 chords. Move it another fret higher, you get D, F-sharp, or B-flat augmented. Move it another fret higher, and now every 4 frets you've got E-flat, G, or B augmented. And the same concept applies no matter which set of strings you're playing. Start here, and then every 4 frets, you've got either E, A-flat, or C augmented, depending on context. Move it another fret higher. Every 4 frets, you have another set of 3 augmented chords. Move it another fret higher. You've got another set. Move it 1 more fret higher. You have a 4th set. And again, the name you give any of these shapes depends on the key and the way the notes are spelled, but you play them all the same way. To play those movable shapes, you need to know the names of the notes on the fretboard. If you need help in this area, check out this video to start learning the fretboard. And for more guitar lessons, music theory, and solo guitar arrangements, please subscribe.